You're this perp back with another video, and I just got done checking out Cyberpunk Edgerunners. This is a new anime that's on Netflix right now. This is based off the video game of Cyberpunk 2077. And I know the game has a lot of controversy. You know, the game came out broken. Nobody really talks about the game anymore. But where I feel like Cyberpunk it will be alright is if they kind of stick to the animation. You know, if they stick to what Studio Trigger has done with the world of Night City with this anime. I think people that were disappointed in the game will really enjoy watching this anime. I will not get into any spoilers, no heavy spoilers. I just want to kind of give you my thoughts and feelings about this, and could they possibly do a season 2? Because the way that this ended, it definitely seemed like this was kind of like a one and done scenario, or story, I should say. So this story starts off with our main character, David, that you see in the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? He goes to one of the top schools, but him and his mom are definitely kind of struggling to kind of pay the bills. He's really not into like the whole tech thing. He even gets to the point where he's in class and he tries to kind of get this workaround to get this update, but it ends up messing up the system at school, which ends up him getting kicked out, and he has to kind of, his mom has to pretty much pay that debt, and it just keeps piling on to their family. Like they're struggling with bills. You know, they're talking about expelling him, moving to a different type of school, and he's just not feeling the whole school thing. What leads David down an interesting path, because they get into this accident, and it's almost like just they get caught in this crossfire of these two gangs kind of fighting one another, and they end up getting into this car accident, which leaves his mom in really bad shape. And it's really interesting how they kind of set up this world where if you pretty much aren't like at a certain level, you can only afford so much. You know what I'm saying? Like healthcare is very scarce, and just insurance and stuff like that. And I really like the representation of how Trigger introduces us to this world. And you know, I kind of remember some things from the games, but I feel like they take what the games introduced and really go crazy with it. You know what I'm saying? Really explain it very well, and just not everybody can afford insurance in this world. But anyways, that aside, this kind of kicks off David's whole journey on becoming a hero or doing something with his life. So with his mom passing away, he says ultimately screw it. He finds this like prototype, this like exoskeleton. I forget exactly the I think it's called like the sandestite or something like that. Easier way to kind of remember exactly the tech that he uses that's attached to his back is called the Sandy. And this pretty much allows him to give him like super speed, sort of like the Flash. But the way he uses it, it's pretty interesting. And then the way that it's animated is really dope. How it kind of has this mirror effect where you're seeing like multiple Davids like moving and stuff. He's just moving so fast. Then he comes across another character that we follow in this series called Lucy. Really interesting name, you know, for a character. But Lucy is a part of this group called the Edgerunners, or Cyberpunks, or just criminals in general, net runners and stuff like that, mercenaries, whatever you want to call it. And this group is also connected to his mother, you know what I'm saying? And where he gets this Sandy technology from is this guy Maine. This guy Maine is pretty much a mix between Barrett from Final Fantasy VII and Guile. You know what I'm saying? It's a cross between those two. So he pretty much becomes a part of this group and does a bunch of missions and stuff like that, not knowing that in the shadows lurks a villain or villains, where it's like this huge tech company called Arasaka, and then you got this military entity as well that's kind of, we're not gonna say he's the leader, but he's kind of the face of the Militech, is Giancarlo Esposito's character, Faraday, which, man, not gonna spoil anything with his character, but you already know what he does when it comes to villains. He's gonna bring it. So then, after David joins this group, things just get more and more dangerous for the crew. You know, people start to kind of die left and right, and the crew really dies in some very violent ways. And what I like about this the most is it really focuses on these characters' sanity. The more that they upgrade their chrome, that's what they call it, it takes a toll on them. You know what I'm saying? They really explain that this stuff, if you're not compatible with it, it's going to mess with your head. And they show that in the very first episode, where a guy kind of just goes crazy and stuff, because he's wearing the same Sandy technology that David has, but he wasn't able to control it, so he just went on a complete killing spree. And I love that psychological aspect to this series, where you really see characters lose their mind the more that they upgrade. And it gets to a point where David has to kind of step up and be the leader for this crew, and he just becomes obsessed with trying to honor his mother and his friends that he's lost, and just trying to complete the mission. And what that mission is pretty crazy. And I really enjoyed the final fight. The final fight was almost damn near like a mech fight, and it makes me wonder, like, what exactly happened to David? You know what I'm saying? Did he, you know what I'm saying? Or, like I said, I don't know, man. I would really love to see a season 2, and maybe each season's going to just be a different story. I'd be cool with that as well. I really like the aesthetics that Trigger does here. It's very bright, vibrant. They don't hold back with the violence, the nudity, you know what I'm saying? You see titties everywhere, boobies, you know what I'm saying? You see everything, you know what I'm saying? They really aren't restricted in this as far as just going over the top, and they're known for doing that. If you've ever seen something like Kill la Kill, or even the story they did for Star Wars Visions, it's a combination of just everything they have done, and you could see hints of that, especially with like characters like Lucy. Definitely looks like a character that could have come out of Kill la Kill. I think this is a really dope series overall, man. It has a lot going for it. The music is brilliant. Like, you'll have some shit popping off, and you'll have some really like soft, soothing music, but it really works to kind of build suspense. And just the whole relationship between David and Lucy, and just how they kind of deal with love. There's a love story here, there's a revenge story, there's action, there's just everything that you would want out of this type of story that you didn't get in the video games. So I would highly recommend y'all check this series out. It's 10 episodes, easy binge watch. I'll definitely probably watch this again, but subtitled, just to kind of get the difference and see the voice acting and stuff and see how it's handled. But shout outs to Studio Trigger for really killing it. I really enjoyed this series from start to finish. I was really engaged. Like, I think there's a lot to really like about it. Hopefully they come back for a season 2. But if you've seen this, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.